Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the team call. It's Wednesday, June 27th, and tonight we're going to be unpacking all things Summit. So some of us on this call were there and got to experience it live. Some of us were unable to attend. So for those that were unable to attend, we're going to be sharing some of the coaches on this call, some of the leaders in this team are going to be sharing some of their biggest takeaways because it was a pretty incredible event. But before we get into that, I want to take a second, to obviously recognize folks. So does anybody have any recognition, any shout outs that they want to throw out right now for themselves or for anybody else? Anybody, just go ahead and raise your hand and I'll unmute you. Or unmute yourself, whatever works for you. Jessica, hold on. What you got, girl?
I'm going to steal Jen's and shout out Mike for deciding to start playing in the whole game with us. That's all.
Right? No, that's so awesome.
Yes, I finally decided to start playing.
You just now started to start playing?
As opposed to pretending that I was not playing. All the while I was really playing, I just really wasn't. Yeah.
Gotcha. Cassandra, what do you want to say?
So this is going to come to a surprise to you and Dionna both, because this is a huge deal. So be ready for it.
What's up?
Zach has decided to walk away from said other opportunities and take on Beachbody as a active coach with me as a couple. Yeah, big deal. Yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah. For those of you that don't know, that's a massive thing. So that's a huge decision for Zach to take on. That's a really big game changer for him. So congratulations.
He came to me today and it's been on his mind quite a bit in the past, let's say about 4 weeks, and he's ready to jump in, and I couldn't be more excited because I know that this is where my heart is, and I've wanted nothing more than to grow a business and become our best selves as a couple. So huge deal. Super excited that he even brought that up to me today, and super pumped for what our future holds. So
I love that. Congratulations.
Yeah.
I can't wait to give Zach a big hug when I see him next.
Okay.
Anybody else? Go ahead and raise your hand and we'll bring in. Don't be shy. Dionna, hold on a second. What you got?
So I just want to give a really big shout out to Lynn. You guys, come here. I have it.
That was weird.
It was just Emily. She's unmuted.
There it goes. No worries. What you got, babe?
Okay. So, I just wanted to give a huge shout out to Lynn Smith. She signed up as a coach, what was it, a week or two ago? And she just messaged me like 5 minutes ago and said that she just helped her first person. So she's really excited. She's somebody that has been in our groups for a bit, that has always been kind of on my dream team list because she is the sweetest thing ever. Like, just has such a great heart and is like kind of shy, but she has the inner strength that you see that she might not see yet. And so for her to finally make that decision to do so is fantastic. So I'm super proud of her.
That's awesome. Congratulations. That's huge. Anybody else have anything they want to say, or anything you're proud of? Anything that you want to say about yourself? Hold on one second. Nothing. What's up, Cassandra?
Like, shut up, Cass. Quit talking. No, I'm really proud of myself that it took some time. I fell backwards for a little bit, but I have made sure to be consistent on some daily activities that I haven't been for a while, and it just took a slight little mind shift, and made all the difference in the world. So super excited.
That's awesome. Yeah, we're proud of you too, FYI.
Thanks.
Just a heads up. Okay, so does anybody else last minute? Just want to make sure that I'm not leaving anybody out here. Okay. So like I said before, this is going to be all about Summit takeaways, but before we kind of dive into those takeaways, one last little thing. Deonna's got some just kind of unpacking to do of some new stuff going on. So we want to make sure that we cover that. So maybe I'm going to unmute you and then go through that, and then we'll get into everyone sharing their takeaways.
Perfect. Okay. So some things, this might just be regurgitated, you might already know. This might be new for some of you guys, but I'm just going to kind of give you some rundown of things that they talked about in Summit. They're like really super exciting that we get to look forward to from now through the first of the year. So first of all, if you guys haven't already, be sure that you get your Summit ticket. I know that it can be scary because of the unknown, or, you know, where am I going to be next year? But I'm telling you to trust. I'm telling you to believe. I'm telling you to do this as a community, because it's truly, as you're going to hear from some of the people that made the commitment to attend, that it's really a game changer. And not only just from, you know, learning, but from just being together, being in community, seeing what is possible, speaking to other coaches to, you know, there's no secret. So I definitely recommend the tickets on sale right now for $130. One thing I will tell you guys, for all of you new coaches, and be sure you're sharing it with your new coaches that help 3 people with the challenge pack each month, their first 3 full months as a coach, you actually earn your Summit ticket for free. So that is just helping 3 people with a challenge pack. So Shauna, for instance, Shauna just got set up as a coach. So she signed up in June. She has July, August, and September. So you can actually help 3 people in June, but July, August, and September, if you help 3 people each of those first 3 months, then your ticket is covered. They get you your access, which is awesome. So be sure that you share that. I think sometimes we forget to share that, especially if it's in the middle of the year and Summit's like 6 months away. We forget to say that's the big deal. I earned my ticket for free, and it was huge. So there is going to be a Lift 4 live workout with Joel this coming Saturday at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you have people that are interested in Lift 4, or you're just excited to share it, it's going to be on all the Facebook pages like Beachbody, I think Coach 411, some other Beachbody page, and then I think they're going to have it on Instagram as well. So that is this Saturday, the 30th at 8 a.m. So people that are interested in it, or you're like, oh my gosh, you have to try this out. And of course, we all know that Joel's very engaging. He's going to actually do a Q&A after the workout. So it's a really great opportunity for you to plug people in so they can check it out. Next thing, Super Saturday. If you have not been to a Super Saturday, you need to. If you don't know what a Super Saturday is, just trust me, it's awesome. It is going to be not this Saturday, but next Saturday, June 7th. And sometimes they will have a Super Friday or a Super Sunday, depending on if they have like a celebrity trainer coming in. They have them all over the country, all over Canada and the UK. So if you are already not signed up for a Super Saturday event, be sure to reach out to us or the coach that added you so we can find a Super Saturday in your area for you to get connected with. Some Super Saturdays are free. Some Super Saturdays have a cost. I think our Super Saturday here in Portland is like $20. It's a quarterly event that they have speakers come in to talk about, you know, best practices, growing your business. Ours in Portland, we have a huge Shakeology table, so you can sample Shakeology. Sometimes I have Shakeology or the beach bars to try out. We've got a huge personal development table, which is the most amazing thing of everything, because Justin and I lead that. So that's why you really come, is to check that out, not because of the workout or the information that you're going to get. So be sure that you commit to doing that, because again, it's all community and you're learning from different coaches, because there's no one way of coaching. There's no one right way to do it. There's so many different ways. And so surrounding yourself in that community and learning with different people is awesome. So definitely try, don't even try, just do it. Just do it. Come on, we'll do it. Okay. 2B Mindset. For those of you that really love 2B Mindset, they are offering a certification class to be 2B Mindset certified. So it's going to be kind of like a nutritionist. I mean, you're not going to be a nutritionist, but a certification of some sort. That is FAQ 1081. If you're interested in learning more about that and how to facilitate those groups, how to facilitate becoming certified, 1081. If you don't know how to find FAQs, here's what I do. I don't go into my coach office. I go to the Google, and I'm going to tell you guys, every time you guys ask me something, I always say, let me check with the Google, because it's my BFF. I go to Google and I go Beachbody FAQ 1081, pops up. Next, who here loves Shanti? insanity, hip hop abs, size, whatever. Okay, he's got a new program coming out called Transform 20. It's a 6-week program, 20-minute workouts, no weights. He's going to incorporate a step that Beachbody is going to have that you can purchase that, or if you already have a step, or you go to Ross or whatever and get a step, or garage sale, whatever. If you guys have done a Shanti workout and you guys have heard Shanti speak, he's extremely inspirational. So he's really going to be talking about mindset and things like that. Just like 80-Day Obsession and just like the upcoming Lift 4 group, there's going to be a coach test group. So this kind of seems to be the theme that Beachbody is doing, which I love because it's all live time. You know, it's all real time. So for those of you who've done 80-Day Obsession and you watched the weekly Obsession and you connected with the cast and you were going through it with them, it's going to be the same thing. So it's really exciting. That is going to be on sale starting December. The challenge packs are going to be on sale starting December, and the program is actually launching January. That is FAQ 820 if you want to learn more about that. Now, for those of you who are Chris Downing fans, if you guys have done Shift Shop, if you're a part of our Shift Shop test group, you guys know how freaking amazing, like Jessica has a major crush on him because he's just so awesome. And he's come and spoke at Super Saturday here in Portland. Super motivational, super inspiring. He is doing kind of a Shift Shop, I guess if you call it 2.0, he's doing 2 new workouts. So for those of you who've done Shift Shop, 1 week is 25-minute workouts, then next week is 35, and the last week is 45. He's actually incorporating 2 new workouts that are 15-minute workouts to put at the beginning. So to kind of, get you a little bit more accustomed to the moves. And then they are doing something called Proving Ground. So each week you can kind of do a test to see how you're progressing, right? With your agility and your ability and your strength and all that good stuff. So, and then he's going to be, again, you'll notice a theme, he's going to be running a coach test group for it as well. So one thing that I'm loving is I get bored very easily. And I know a lot of my challengers get bored very easily. So I love 80-Day Obsession, don't get me wrong, but I'm like, hey, I'm ready for something new. That's just me because I'm just like, I need something, squirrel. So I love that we're going to be doing Lift 4. By the time Lift 4 wraps up, Shift Shop's going to be about ready to start. After Shift Shop's wrapping up, then we're going to have the Shanti Transform 20, which is awesome. So Shift Shop is FAQ 773, and that is starting in October. One last thing, and who here loves pumpkin pie? And if you guys don't, then you guys need to be off this call because we cannot be friends anymore. I'm just saying, Shauna, whatever, Cassandra. Okay, I still love you guys. You guys run too, I'm sure, and I don't like that either, but I still love you guys. Okay. They are coming out with a limited time pumpkin Shakeology vegan. It's a vegan variety. It's going to be limited time only. They are selling them actually in packets. I think what they're probably doing is probably doing a test run to see how people are liking it. And then if the response is really great, I wouldn't be surprised if they decide to launch it. But it's going to be, I'm not sure when it's launching because I didn't look at that, but it's FAQ 1031. It's going to be in the, I believe, 24 packets. And yes, it's going to be limited time. And I think that's it.
Awesome. Guys, heads up, even if you don't like pumpkin spice, which these are pumpkin spice, I'll tell you right now, there's a reason that companies like Starbucks around the holiday season do pumpkin spice, and there's a reason that they blow up. And there's a reason that while at Summit, when they announced that damn Shakeology flavor, that everybody in the audience, 20,000 or however many people who were there, just went, and everybody lit up, right? Tons of people. So just recognize that even if you don't love it, you're going to have a lot of people that do love that, and it may be the one thing that helps people get introduced to Shakeology, and they go, oh, I'm going to give this a shot, and fall in love with it and realize actually this stuff is very different than anything else. So it's going to be a massive tool for us all to use. So just kind of keep that in mind and get ready for it. And I would actually start talking about that kind of ASAP, just kind of planting those seeds. Okay, enough of us. Let's move on and start talking about some shares and some takeaways. So first off, I'm going to have Michael, if you'll share about happiness. Guys, just to kind of give you a heads up, the thing I like about Michael, he's a brand new coach, which is awesome anyway. But here's the thing that I've noticed about him. So he's been to the past 2 summits with Jen. Even when he wasn't thinking, or I don't know if he wasn't thinking about coaching, but when he was not a coach, right? Actively coaching. And it wasn't even, I don't know, on the table maybe, right? He still not only went to Summit and not only supported Jen in her pursuit of education and inspiration from it, but he showed up at every single class, every single speech, every single talk, every single like function that she was in. He was right there paying attention, taking notes. And it was just one of those things where you're like, man, here's a guy that's not even doing this. And he's like completely engaged. And at that time, it was just like, just even out of support, he's like, hey, I'm going to be here 100%, which just tells me that he's going to be an incredible coach because he was already engaged before he even decided to go full on and be engaged. So, Mike, would you do us a big favor and kind of just share your biggest takeaway from Summit? I'll go on.
Absolutely. So before I get there, the idea that Summit and Super Saturdays are non-negotiable, that was drilled into us, the past 2 times. And if we want to do this, we have to be there. And as far as Summit goes, like Justin was saying, I've been to the last 2. You don't even have to be a Beachbody coach. It's just life lessons. It's being a professional. Everything's applied. There are some things that were Beachbody specific, but I mean, it's just life stuff. So like this one that I'm going to talk about, happiness, the idea of happiness. And there's so much sadness and negativity in the world. And the idea that when you get up in the morning and you turn on the news, everything on the news, 99% of it is all negative. You just get that beat into your head. And that idea that happiness can be taught and it's not predetermined in you. It's something you can learn and develop. That was a common theme, especially so the main guy that talked about this was Sean Achor, A-C-H-O-R, and he's got a couple books out. One of them is The Happiness Factor, which is going on my reading list, and I think Carl mentioned that he's going to go out and get Big Potential. So, if the CEO is reading this stuff, it's important. The other 2 things he's got a TED Talk, which I recommend going out and searching for. And if you didn't go to Summit, it's kind of his talk in about 12 minutes, the condensed version. And then I haven't listened to this yet, but Oprah Winfrey does this Super Soul conversation, and S-O-U-L, that he sat down with her for a bit. There's 2 parts of that. It's about an hour total. Haven't had a chance to listen to it, but I'm sure it's going to be the same stuff. But it's a great message. And so when you're thinking about happiness and the idea that you can learn it and develop it with daily hygiene habits, and the idea that happiness will influence your optimistic or pessimistic look on life. And as you increase your happiness in general, you become a more optimistic person. And the other thing he mentioned was that your optimism and your happiness levels are a better indicator of your success than just your IQ. He talked about a couple companies that they went into, and I forget who it was, but they didn't hire the people with the highest IQ. They hired people with the more optimistic outlook. And over the course of a year or 2 years, those people all did much better than the higher IQ people. So this idea of happiness being learned, some of the things that he mentioned, as I've got about a couple minutes left here, to work on your happiness hygiene and develop that in yourself was for 30 days on a daily basis, you sit down and you write down 3 new things that you're happy for each day. It can't be just the same big 3 things like I'm happy for God and country and freedom and my wife or husband. It's got to be something new and specific and distinct, so that you are forcing your head and your mind to think about what is good in your life and what makes you happy. If it's the smallest thing, if it's the smile from your child, or the butterfly on your windowsill, or think of 3 things that brought you joy to help your mind start looking for that goodness, for the happiness of life. So that was one of them. So do it for 30 days and you're going to see tremendous benefits. The other one was every time you sit down to open up your emails and do an email, the first thing you do is send out a 2-minute, spend your first 2 minutes writing an email or a message to somebody who you are thankful for, who you appreciate, who you just want to praise, because you start yourself in that thankful, that gracious, that happy mindset. It sets the stage for the rest of everything to come. And the final thing I want to say, I have this note down, is fight for the positive. Don't fight against the negative. Like the news, all you hear in society and everything nowadays, it feels very negative and overwhelming. So you got to fight for the positive, look for the positive, reach for the positive. Don't try and get away from the negative. Just ignore the negative and focus on the positive, and that's what you're going to see. So open for questions.
I love that. Can I just say, raise your hand if you guys will take a challenge with me for the next maybe 10 days, 2 weeks. Raise your hand. If you'll take this challenge, wake up. And when you first get up, wake up 10 minutes earlier. When you first get up, do exactly what Michael just said, and literally sit down, and the first thing you do is roll over and think about 3 things that make you happy. That not just like, I'm happy it's sunny. Why are you happy it's sunny? I'm happy it's sunny because of this, right? Because it makes me smile or whatever. And then literally write a letter, even if you don't send it to the person, write in your notes a letter to somebody that you're grateful for, somebody, just do that every single day for the next 10 days, the first thing you do when you wake up, and see if that doesn't change your life. See if you don't start noticing more positivity in your life, because all that stuff that Michael was just talking about, none of that stuff was just speculation. That was scientific research where they literally broke it down into way smarter than me, where I was like, oh my gosh, this is legit. So definitely check that out. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. I love that takeaway. So the next person we're going to hear from, Clorie, is going to share. But one of the things that I love about Clorie, guys, is Clorie was terrified to go to Summit. This was her first plane flight by herself. She'd never been on a plane by herself. You told me you hadn't been on a, I'm not supposed to say. I was like, don't look at me like I'm lying. She hadn't been on one for herself. And it was really, really scary for her. But she did it anyway, because she saw the importance of trying to do everything she could to get there. She pushed through that fear. And then while she was there was such a massive mental transformation in her. I saw her do things afterward that were completely inspired by the time that she spent. And it was really, really impressive to see that from the outside. I'm sure she noticed it as well, but I definitely noticed it. But what was your biggest takeaway, Clorie? I'll unmute you here. What was yours?
So I think just kind of finding your voice and sharing your story. I've always wanted to believe that I've kind of did that in my own way, as far as I'm kind of raw. I say probably not the best words all the time or whatever, and I'm not scared to show that. It's kind of like how I would talk to my best friend, right? I think I said in one of my stories the other day, the F word, and John's like, why would you say that in your story? And I'm like, because I say it 10 times a day. If I'm going to attract a coach and I don't say anything like that, and I'm drinking milk and everything, and then they become on my team, and here I'm having a glass of wine, I'm drinking beer, and I'm saying the F word, they're like, who are you? Where did you come from? Oh my God, I don't even, I don't know you. It's kind of it's a reality show about yourself, and you're the only one that kind of knows yourself the best, I guess. What I struggled with is kind of sharing the deeper issues, and kind of not even with my best friends or my boyfriend or whatever, we all have these inner struggles. And yeah, I can get on, social media, and I can be raw, and I could, have no makeup on, and I can kind of joke about it or whatever. But it was I guess in Summit, I saw so many stories that kind of touched my heart that were a lot deeper than the surface stuff, and I was always kind of, I guess, scared to kind of open up and share that. But I tell you that when I left and I sat in the airport, I had a 2-hour layover, or I got there 2 hours early or something. I was sitting by myself. There's something that keeps me awake every single night that I struggle with, and I keep it in, and I struggle with it. I wake up and I have sleepless nights, and I don't share it. And maybe that's why I have those sleepless nights. Maybe because I don't share it. And I've always been told you talk about things, it'll kind of, you know, you'll find other people that have the same struggles or that are kind of going through the same stuff. And I never really believed that, but having that time after Summit, after seeing so many inspiring stories and where people really came from, I kind of had time to reflect on my own. And so I decided to do this post and really kind of open up about one of the biggest things that I struggle with in my life and that I've always kind of been ashamed about. And, you know, somebody really close to me has a very bad drug addiction. And when people ask me about my siblings and all this stuff, I don't really know how to answer that. And I've never put it out there. I've never spoke about her or whatever. And all of a sudden I did that. And I kind of found my voice about it and I put it out there. And you guys, like, I got off my next flight and my inbox was filled with like, oh my God, I didn't know, like, I'm struggling with the same thing. Thank you for sharing. If you ever need to talk, like, people coming kind of out of the woodwork. And you don't really kind of ever, I never really wanted to do that on social media or even with like my friends, you know what I mean? I don't have a problem being raw and finding my voice and kind of doing my own reality show. But when it comes to that stuff that's kind of tucked away, these are the things that matter. Like, these are the things that people are like, wow, this person's real. She has a heart. She has struggles. Her life is not perfect. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was my biggest thing that I took away from Summit, is listening to these inspiring stories. And, you know, right now I'm kind of struggling with my mom. She doesn't eat the healthiest. She has Crohn's disease. I've kind of watched her health deteriorate in the past year or two. And I've been struggling with that too. And since I've been back, I've been really opening up to her and being like, you know, let me help you, because I saw like a mother and daughter story up there and it really touched me. And I think it's all about sharing not only what makes you laugh, but what you struggle with, and not just on the surface, but kind of like in the inside, what sets you apart from everybody else. You know, not everybody else has that same story, but there are a lot of people out there that do, and a lot of people that I never really talked to or knew were watching until I put that post out there. So yeah, I can get on social media, I can be fun, and I could, you know, talk and laugh and joke or whatever. But once I did that, I really realized, man, it kind of took a weight off of my shoulders, you know? So sometimes my story isn't always the glorious, you know, thing that we want to put on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. But if you share those other moments, there's other people that are out there that are struggling with that too. And that's going to find a whole different, you know, people to talk to, if anything. And I think just playing the, you know, the BFF rule, like, I'm not going to my best friend's house and when she offers me a drink, can I get a glass of milk? No, that's not me. Like, I'm like, give me 2 beers. I'll have one in this hand and one in that hand. Right. So I'm not going to get on social media and just say, yeah, I drink milk and I'm eating my carrots. Nope. I eat pizza. You know, I drink the beer. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a crazy lunatic, but I'm just saying, like, I show kind of everything. I show my struggles when I come back on a Monday after I've had the pizza and the beer, how it affects me, how I'm struggling with my workouts. You just got to kind of find your voice, find who you are, be real about it, because people like the reality. They like, I mean, look at what we watch on TV every single night. There's some sort of reality shows, right? So if you get on Instagram and you're somebody you're not, and you're sharing somebody else's story, or, I mean, I follow some top coaches because I can relate to them, or they came from my hometown, or they kind of have the same background, but I do it for inspiration and kind of because I like their vibe. You know, I'm not doing it because I want to copy exactly what they're saying, because that's not my story either. So I'm not saying go out there and, like, you know, copy somebody's story and take whatever, but get stuff from them, be inspired by them, be more confident because of them, and just kind of tell your own story, be who you are, because people are going to love you because of your struggles, not because you're perfect. Nobody's perfect. We all know that. And so all these filters on Instagram and stuff, I got up the other morning and I was like, this is what I look like. Like, I'm not going to lie. You know what I mean? Because it is. Like, nobody wakes up with, I mean, maybe Kim Kardashian, I don't know. She probably does. but I don't wake up. I got wrinkles. I got whatever. So that is me. That is my story. And I can tell you that it's working. People are drawn to it. And I can tell you that taking that away from Summit with all those people kind of opening up and sharing their stories really inspired me to kind of be open, a little bit more open about mine. And I've struggled with it for so long, you know, and for me to do that, I felt like it was a huge step for me. And so that's when I realized, like, I really got something out of Summit. And it opened like a huge door. I mean, people that I taught Pilates to for years, they're like, my brother's in the same boat. If you ever need to talk. And I was like, are you serious? Like, I taught you Pilates for 6 years. I had no idea. So I guess my point is, be a reality show of yourself. Share who you are, what you're about, not what, you know, I'm not sharing what Dionna is about, even though we had a lot of fun and we were about the same stuff Friday night, double fisting. But I'm just saying, be yourself, and that's all you could do. People are going to love you for it. Your struggles, the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's what I got out of it.
Absolutely. Honestly, so true. And I love that. And I love that you made that post, because I know how scary that was. But, you know, guys, we say all the time, honestly, and I believe this to my core, if you allow it to, Beachbody coaching, right, what we get to do will literally, you will never be the same. It will literally impact every single aspect of your life and truly change you in every way. More of how you want to be, or the things that you're struggling with, right? I mean, it's incredible to watch. And, you know, I think that's what Clorie was going through. That's what so Michael was saying, right? Summit, we focus on it so much about being, or even the community, even Super Saturday, right? Being so much about Beachbody. And it is, but it's also about just life skills and helping us all grow individually as people. And that's what's so impressive about what we get to do, and the company that we partner with, and the way we get to share and grow as humans, as well as in our coaching and in our business and all that great stuff. Dionna, hold on a second. What's up?
I just wanted to give a huge shout out to Clorie, only because what you guys may or may not realize is, do you know how many times we had to ask her, hey, can you do a video? Can you go live? Can you do this? And she's like, no, with an exclamation point. So the fact that she's, okay, if by show of hands, did she just rock it? She rocked it, right? Like, you can't even tell that she had any nervousness, because she's killing it. So I'm just saying, shout out.
Yeah. Well done, girl. And so now, kind of speaking to that same thing. So next person that's going to be nice enough to share with us is Jen. And that's actually one of the things that I've noticed so much about Jen over the past few years. And we talked about this at dinner the last night before we went to the actual closing ceremonies. We talked about how much she has changed in her confidence, and how much she's like, before she kind of, you saw that a line in the sand. I don't know if everybody did. I did. I'm sure Jessica did. But the line in the sand that Jen drew before we even went to Summit, even when she was very nervous about about coaching in general, and was, you know, like, I don't want to say half in, because I don't think she's ever been half in, but was definitely feeling a little bit maybe held back, if I could say that. Maybe I'm talking out of turn, but definitely feeling a little bit held back is what she shared. And she was still showing up, and she's like, I'm still going to go to Summit. I'm still going to go to Super Saturdays. I'm still going to be a part of this. But there was a very clear line in the sand before she went, where all of a sudden we started seeing, like, all these people getting added to the group to learn more about Lift 4, and like just a real push to start putting herself out there and inviting people to join her. And it was really impressive to see. And I can only imagine, I remember having the conversation with her the night before or the night of the closing ceremonies. And she's like, yeah, you know, it's like that line has been drawn, and she's like, I'm moving forward now. And there was just like a change in her voice, if you will. And it's blown me away over the past couple of years how far she's come, and how incredibly inspirational that really is to not just me, but I'm sure so many other people watching this growth, because I know I'm not the only one that notices it. But what was your biggest takeaway, Jen?
One of them that really hit with me was, it's just so simple that I don't know if I can actually talk about it for 5 minutes, but someone said, be your best challenger. And it was like, it's so simple, it's stupid, but I feel like it would hit you.
Yeah.
But it's not, because, you know, sometimes you get that challenge group that starts to lag, and the engagement isn't there and you're wondering why people aren't plugged in, well, you got to look at yourself. Are you personally being your best challenger? Are you, you have to think about who has been your favorite, most exciting, invigorating challenger? And then think, are you being that person? Are you engaging? Are you bringing smiles and passion and excitement? Are you plugged in every day? Are you following the program? Are you following the nutrition plan? Are you getting results? And it reminded me of that team call, I don't know, way back when with Rob Pearson. He said, first thing you do, get your own results. That's how you're going to be a good coach and build your team, build your business. Number one, get your own results. And how do you do that? You be your best challenger. And in the same token, they went on to say next, and be your best coach. If you want to build your business, who's your best coach? Or what do you imagine your best coach under you to be? And then you just be that person. You lead from the front. You lead by example. You don't lead by words and instruction. You lead by example. You show them. You show up and you show them how amazing it can be, whether it's just a challenge group, it's a workout program, or it's being a coach. You just show up and be the best. You show them what is possible. It's just so simple. But I think we forget about it in our heads and the information and overcomplicating it. And it's just, keep it simple, stupids. It's just basic. And that just really struck with me. If that's what you're looking for, you got to be that first. That's it.
It's so true though, right? Because we all do that, especially once you start having coaches and you start kind of cultivating a team. It's really easy to start looking at other people and say, man, how can I help you do this? How can I help you do this? And turn it back on yourself and go, am I doing this? Like, am I doing what I need to do? And the same thing goes with health and fitness. If we really are our best challenger, we're going to feel good. Like on a day-to-day basis, we're going to feel better. What do you got, Dionna? Always trying to interrupt.
I know, because I'm good at that, right? No, I actually want to call us out on it because Cassandra came over the other day and because we got into that exact thing where we were just, running challenge groups. We weren't showing our own sweaty selfies because we're the facilitators of the group, right? And on Monday, I'm like, no, we're going to be the best challengers. We're going to be sharing our sweaty selfies. And she knew the first day. She's like, you know what? I love seeing that sweaty selfie that you guys put back in. We noticed that you weren't doing it, right? So it gets noticed, and it's the small things. And so you can't get frustrated if people aren't showing up in your challenge groups or they're not doing the sweaty selfies if you're not doing the same thing. And likewise for coaches, you can't go, well, they're not inviting daily, or they're not posting daily, or they're not doing these things if you are not doing it, right? You definitely have to lead from the front line. So I love that. Like, it was immediate. That immediate little change got immediately noticed.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, guys, like because our team is so awesome now, once we joined with Alicia and we've got all these new faces and the groups are like invigorated with these amazing people and all these challengers, and having all these coaches in these groups to help out, right? That Dionna and I didn't have before. Alicia probably didn't have the same, we weren't all together having all these people. That actually allowed us to kind of sit back and go, well, other people are taking care of it, right? And I'll tell you, when we stopped, I know for myself, when I stopped checking in and doing the daily things in that challenge group because other people were doing it, so I felt like it was easy to sit back, I felt disconnected. I didn't feel right about anything that was going on, and it messed with my business aside from my results as a challenger. But everything, when you stop, the second you stop and take a step back from any of it, everything starts to kind of disconnect. That's why it's so important that, like Jen said, that we just be our best challenger and be our best coach. And speaking to that, kind of a simple segue is, speaking of best coach, that's one of the things I noticed when we joined teams with Alicia. It gave us more of an opportunity, it gave me more of an opportunity at least, to really see what Alicia does. And the fact, like, it became very apparent that I was like, holy crap, she definitely leads from the front line and definitely shows up. And there's absolutely no question about that. When I look at like the amount of work she's doing, like her invites, I'll be like, she logs and be like, oh, here's who I'm talking to today. Here's my invites. Here's my follow-ups. I'm like, holy crap, what is going on right now? Like, who does that? Well, she does. But one of the things I love about that is she does lead from the front line. And I'm actually really excited to hear what she's going to share, because it's a really solid takeaway that I think everybody is going to learn from on this one. Will you share about that, Alicia?
Hey, awesome. Well, man, thanks for the awesome introduction. I'm over here like, oh, thank you. All right. So I'm super, super excited to share about this takeaway with you guys, because it's something that, like, kind of like what Jen was saying, it seems so simple, but it was like brain explosion. So how many of you guys struggle figuring out what to talk about every day on your social media? Right? And how many of you guys have struggled with like who to talk to? Like, I think we hear so often, I remember in the beginning being like, okay, you need to create your avatar. Like literally, like we were supposed to find like a picture of a random person that represented our avatar. And we were supposed to write like their name and where they like to shop and like what their goals were. And I honestly never did it because I was like, why? This seems so weird, or we're told things like, just be yourself. And I'm like, I don't even know who I am. Like, I don't know. Do I really know who I am? Do I really know what I'm about? And, it's like all of these kind of things that we're told to do, but really just sort of left me confused about who exactly I'm supposed to be talking to and what exactly I'm supposed to say every day on social media. And so when I heard this tip, I was like, oh my gosh, so simple, okay? So instead of trying to worry about finding your niche, right, or talking to your avatar, or, just be you, think about sharing your life phase that you're in right now. So whatever you're going through in your life, that's your life phase, and that's what you want to be talking about. And maybe that seems like duh, but for me, it was like, oh my gosh, yes. So like my life phase right now is I'm a mom. I have 8-year-old daughters. I'm married. I'm working from home. And that is what I should be talking about, right? And again, it seems like so simple, but when you look at it in that way, it like seems obvious, right? Like, does it seem obvious to you? But it was something I never thought about before. It was like, just talk about the life phase that you're in. So maybe you're engaged and you're going to be talking all about like planning the wedding and looking for the right dress and booking bridal suites or whatever. Or, maybe you're a brand new mom and you're going to be talking about that life phase and not getting sleep and trying to nurse and like all that stuff. Or maybe you are like super into travel right now and you're going to be talking all about Travelista stuff, right? And Wanderlust. And so when you talk about your life phase that you're in right now, it makes it really easy to know who you're talking to, right? You're talking to other people in that life phase as you. So what are the things that you're Googling, right? What are you looking at 10 o'clock at night on your phone when you know you should be sleeping, but you're not, you're on your phone? What are you looking at on Pinterest? What websites are you going to? What, influencers on social media are you looking at? And then when you are trying to craft your post and you're also trying to figure out what hashtags to use, you want to use hashtags that are relevant to your life phase. So I don't know about you guys, but how many of you have been on Instagram and you're like, all I'm attracting are other coaches, right? You're like, oh, 50 likes. And you go through it and you're like, coach, she's a coach, he's a coach, she's a coach, crap, And it's because we're using hashtags that are like work from home mom and Beachbody coach and like at home workouts. We're using hashtags that are basically telling people already what we're doing, right? So we want to use hashtags that are relevant to your life phase, okay? So if you, again, are a new mom, right? You might be like hashtag no sleep and hashtag like baby on the brain or, like hashtags that are relevant to the life phase that you're in the moment. And then the way you can take it in that next step further, because you might be thinking like, okay, that's awesome, right? But like, how do I tie in Beachbody? Because obviously we need to be talking about it. So this again was like, oh my God, it's so smart. So then how are the Beachbody products, the programs, you know, On Demand, Energize, Shakeology, Daily Sunshine, how are they impacting the life phase that you're in right now? Okay, did you guys just get that? Because that was like such a big takeaway for me. So for me, okay, I'm a busy mom, right? I don't have a lot of time to make my food. So Shakeology is amazing for that. And I have 8-year-old kids, so getting them to have proper nutrition every single day, challenging. So Daily Sunshine, amazing for that. Again, I'm a mom. Sometimes I have to work out super early. Energize is my mom crack. You know, like I can't survive without it. So how are these products and programs helping you in the life phase that you're at right now? Because when you talk about that, other people in the same phase as you are going to relate. And they're going to be like, oh my gosh, I have no energy either. Like, what is that yellow stuff that she's always drinking about and then like buzzing around on her Instagram stories, you know? Or I'm a travelista, right? I'm always on the go. I'm always in hotel rooms and traveling when I can't get my workout in. How is that girl who's in like Hawaii this week and, you know, whatever, Mexico next week, still getting her workouts in with this whole like Netflix of fitness thing, right? So whatever life phase that you're in right now, sharing about that, using hashtags that are relevant to that to find other people and help them find you, and then sharing and showcasing how these products are helping you in that life phase is how you're going to be able to attract those kind of people, get them engaged on your page, and then get them coming to you asking what you're doing. Because if I, you know, hold up like my tub of Energize and I'm like, oh my God, Energize is the most amazing Beachbody performance line. I just love it. It gives me so much energy for my workouts. Hashtag Energize, hashtag Beachbody coach. You know, I've already told everybody exactly what I'm using and how to find it. Because most people are shy, right? Most people don't want to message a total stranger on Instagram. So they're going to see that post and they're going to be like, ooh, she's a mom like me. She loves this product. It's called Energize. Hello, Google. Thank you. Go to Beachbody and order, right? We don't want that to happen. So how we do that is by talking about these programs and products, but not in like commercial way, right? We don't tell people in our posts and in our hashtags what we're talking about because they're just going to go Google it. So finding, again, those hashtags that are relevant to your life phase and showcasing how these products are helping you is going to have people wanting to reach out to you and asking you, okay, like, what is that yellow crack that you're drinking every day? I need it, right? Or how are you accessing your workouts online so you're so consistent even though you're traveling? Or what is this stuff that you're feeding your kids that's getting them protein and veggies and healthy fats and they're 8 years old because all my kids are eating is mac and cheese, okay? And that's relevant to me, but it's not going to be relevant maybe to what you are. So what life phase are you in right now? And what sort of value in what we offer is relevant to that? And on your page, are you creating engaging posts that are raising people's curiosity, or are you telling them exactly what it is that you're using? Okay. I think that was it. I probably went over my 5-minute time zone. I'm like looking into my notes really quick. And yeah, I think that was it. Does anybody have any questions on any of that?
Any questions? I love that because it's true. I struggle many times trying to figure out like, because they always used to say, guys, it was always like, well, find the things that you like, the 5 things that you like, or that kind of define you. That, you know, I like to scuba dive, right? Or I like to do whatever, and then kind of talk to people based on that. But when you start thinking about it, like just talking about it in life phases, it changes everything. Because I like to scuba dive, but I don't scuba dive right now, right? So it's not really relevant. I can talk more about, well, what are we doing? Well, we like to travel, but someday that's going to be traveling in an RV. Right now it's traveling to tropical beaches. So those are two different forms of, those are two different people that are, you know, types of people that we're going to be speaking to. So it really helps you kind of like hone in on exactly who you're talking to and recognizing that you're going to change and that's okay. And you're going to be speaking to different people as you go through your different phases of life. I loved that when I heard it too, the same thing. And then being able to really focus in on how to share that these products and these nutritionals and everything and the workouts are actually adding value to that particular phase of your life and into your life. That's epic. Like that's gold, in my opinion. If we can all do that, oh, it made it so much easier.
Okay, can I share something really quick?
Yeah.
Okay, this is totally like rocking my world, and you guys might know about this or might not, but I just figured out about this on Instagram, and I really want to show you guys. Okay, so do you know that you can message people from your post, and it'll show a picture of your post in the message, and you can message up to 15 at a time? Okay, I have to show you this because I'm getting such a way better response from people when I do it this way. So if you go to your Instagram, your feed, and you just tap on, say, one of these pictures, right? Oh, the glare is horrible. But if you go below it where there's like the little heart and there we go, the comment, and then you see the little message guy, like the little paper airplane.
Yeah.
Okay. If you tap on that, it brings this up and you can search people and then tap this button on the side and you can send a message to up to 15 people. And then when they see it in their inbox, let me see if I can show because I did it this morning. It'll show the picture and a little bit of the post that you went from. And so it shows people like, why is this girl messaging me, right? Because oftentimes we go through our social media so quickly and we're like, heart, scroll, heart, scroll, heart. And I feel like sometimes if we're messaging people and saying, hey, thanks for commenting on blah, 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 they're like, what? What was that post about? And why did I like it? Or why did I comment on it? So this way it puts it into their inbox. And I'm having so many more people responding to those messages. I just started it like 2 days ago. And I will say, even though you can do like 15 at a time, I still do them individually. And I customize sort of like the last sentence or two based on their page, right? Like Clorie was saying at Summit that she does. So I have sort of like the general thank you. And then after I'll like comment and ask a question about something on their page. So it's more personal. But that's just working super, super well for reach outs and connects. Because another thing at Summit that I thought was super awesome, they basically said that like every person that's coming in is going to have go to like through the same cycle, and it's basically expand. So you're expanding your network, you're connecting, you're inviting, and you're following up. And so this is an amazing way to both expand and connect on somebody who's already expressing interest in you and what you're doing. So sorry for the sideways. I just had to share because I thought it was super cool.
No, that's awesome. Thank you. I'm so glad you did share. That's huge. I'm going to try that.
Yeah.
We need to
so while you're using all your awesome life phase hashtags and people are coming to your posts, now you can reach out to them and start chatting.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you. Thank you. So the kind of last person that's going to share tonight, I'm excited to hear because this is another thing. Like, again, you guys have to you're going to see a recurring theme, right? And it's about confidence and self-belief, really. And I still am very, very, very deep into the idea that that's really what we get to do. That's what we share with people. Like, really, if you think about how you change people's lives as a coach, you change their life through self-belief, through helping them, support them, and building confidence. And one of the things that I love about Roxanne is, she's gonna be the one that's sharing with us. One of the things I love about her is just talking to her at this last summit. She was flat out sharing like how she was really struggling with coaching and really like going all in on it basically. And she was kind of like riding that fence a little bit and going a little bit back and forth. And she was still at something, like she still figured out a way to get there and show up and go to all the stuff because she knew it was really important to her and it was important to push her through. And talking to her in that, it was like, again, it was the same kind of thing where you could just see there's just such a different confidence level in her. She, like when she left, I don't know how she feels about it now, or if I'm talking out of line here, but when I feel like the last day that we were talking, she was like, I'm in, like light switch, boom. And it was just, everything had changed for her. So I'm excited I haven't even looked at what you're going to share about. So I'm excited to hear what your biggest takeaway was.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for arranging the call too. I really appreciate it. So the biggest, really, the takeaway for me is about goals. And, you know, at the surface, like, oh yeah, I hear that. You know, I've heard that all the time. We hear that kind of stuff all the time. But that's part of what is so cool about going to Summit is there's stuff that maybe you've heard, but there's a twist. There's a different way of hearing it. There's somebody else saying it. You know, just all of those things have just such an impact. And it's you got to get there. Not to sound like a broken record, but so about goals, you know, identifying your goals, which, you know, we've probably heard that. But one thing that I would really challenge everybody to do is, you know, with your business, if you're thinking about what are your goals for by the end of the year, and then also what are your goals for by Summit next year. So who has a ticket already for Summit? Okay, good. And then, you know, sharing that goal around, plastering it around your life, whether it's putting it on your mirror, putting it on your phone, your screens, you know, your screensaver or whatnot, really putting it everywhere. But, and I've heard that, and I've kind of done some of that before, but the other thing was sharing it with those close to you. Like, for example, if you have a spouse or you know, girlfriend, boyfriend, family members, sharing it, because at that point, you know, you're really kind of putting it out there. It's a lot more than just in here, you know, in yourself. It's out there in the universe. And, you know, that's a big part of it. But the other thing is the size of those goals. So, you know, I've gone through this where it's like I said, huge goals that I just couldn't even fathom. And then it's like, oh no, I need to rein it in and pull something, you know, back to what I feel comfortable with, because I'm afraid I don't want to, you know, the thought was, I don't want to set a goal that's so big that I end up feeling like I failed by not hitting it. But the big thing that I thought of and was brought up, was brought up there at Summit was, even if you don't hit it, you are so much closer, so much further along than you would be if you set that goal. Like for me, and just to give an example for me, maybe you can think about it for yourself, for your own business. I'm currently in the process of trying to get back to Diamond. And it really scared me when team came out with the trip, because it's like, okay, well, yeah, 2-star, but that was part of it. It's like, okay, set that and get uncomfortable with it, because even if I shoot for that, and, you know, not to sound like a failure, but, you know, even if I don't get there, I'm so much further, I'm so much closer. And maybe I don't get there by X date, but I get there, you know, that much sooner. So that was a big thing for me. And then the other part of that was making sure that your actions, then it's all well good to set a goal, but do your actions match that? And that was a real big one for me, because, you know, if your goal is to get from Emerald to 2-star Diamond in 6 months, you're not gonna get it by inviting 3 to 5 people a day. It's just not gonna happen. The math does not work out. So you got to make sure that your actions are aligned with whatever your goals are. And maybe it's the square in me, but I really like the takeaways that were, you know, like actionable, like, okay, tell me what, you know, I could do. That really spoke to me. So the whole idea of kind of reverse engineering those goals and figuring out, okay, this is, you know, this is what I need to do to get there, making sure that they're aligned, not just saying, oh yeah, my goal is 2-star. Hope it happens, you know. Got my fingers crossed. Okay. So that's my big takeaway. And thank you very much for the opportunity to speak on this call too.
No, thank you for sharing.
Any questions?
Are there any questions about that? What's up, Clorie? Hold on a second. Let me unmute you. What's up?
I don't have a question, but I just want to say that on the last night, Roxanne and I sat next to each other and had a beer, and it was one of the best conversations there. So thank you for that.
Oh.
And meeting new friends is what this business is kind of all about, and I'm thankful for that. I had fun.
Awesome.
Can I just piggyback on what Clorie just said?
Yeah.
Because I think so often at these events, I had some of my biggest takeaways just from conversations with other coaches. Not even like I mean, the presentations are incredible, but like these little conversations that you get to have over a beer or cheesecake at midnight, like sometimes you can have your biggest takeaways, your biggest aha moments from there. Like, I want to give a shout out to Clorie because we were at, I don't remember where, it was the pizza or something, and we were talking about the training, and she was like, was it you or was it Amy? Now I might be, maybe it was Amy. I can't remember. But they were like, in the new coach training, when you're training a new coach, you have to tell them why they need to do the action steps. And I was just like, gosh, that's so smart. And so why we encourage you to get to these events is not only because you're going to learn so much from the speakers there, but just talking to the other coaches. And it's the same thing at Super Saturday. Like why Dionna was saying it's so important to get to Super Saturday, because you never know when you're going to hear that one thing that's just going to flip the switch in your head, and it's going to make all the difference for you. Whether it's just talking to a new coach or listening to the speaker, it's putting yourself in the place of opportunity. And that's what getting to these events is about. So, sideways.
No.
I'm going to piggyback off of Alicia really quick, only because what she said is getting to Super Saturday. So for those of you guys who don't know our story, Justin and I signed up in June of 2014. We hit Success Club our first 3 months as our business. So June, July, August. Then August came around. We decided, hey, we're going to build a house. That's going to be fun. We're going to have so much free time. So we kind of like backed off, right? And mind you, in that time, we were not coachable. They're like, you should do this, this, and this. And we're like, yeah, that's all well and good, but we're totally smart and awesome. And so we're going to do exactly the opposite of what you're telling us to do because we know better, right? Like we were just stupid. Whatever. So then we kind of set back. We're like, oh, we're building a house. We're too busy. We've got so much stuff going on. Oh my gosh. Like stuff that all of you, like I'm going to throw you guys all under the bus. You guys are all set, right? Because I've been there. So I feel like I have a place where I can say I've been there, done that. Okay. So then January rolls around. I go to a Super Saturday. Justin doesn't come with me. I'm scared shitless to go by myself because at that time I need a support system next to me, but he couldn't go. So it was a big leap, almost as big as Clorie going on an airplane by herself. I go, there's a coach named Amy Silverman that for those of you guys that don't know her, I think she's like a 4-time top 10. Clorie's obsessed with her. It's like her girl crush. She's like, I need to get a photo with her when we're at Summit. She was just like, and she didn't do it, but whatever. Next time. But she spoke, right? And I didn't know who this girl was. She was filled with tats. I don't have tats, and she was kind of like, honestly, she was kind of a hot mess. It was January 2015. She's like on stage. She's not like perfectly put together that I've seen all these other coaches like being all, I'm perfect and I'm whatever. And she's kind of a hot mess. She's not well spoken, but she recommended a book called You're a Badass. So every single one of you have probably heard me sound like a broken record, like this is a book you need to read. I said, you know what? If she can do it, maybe I can do it too. And I need to make a decision to go all in and to really give it a shot. I downloaded Audible. I hated the sound of Jen Sincero's voice. Like it was like nails on a chalkboard for me. I was just like, oh my gosh, this girl, because it was my first ever personal development book. But I said, no, I'm going to commit to it at least once. I'm just going to finish it. Right. And things started changing and I finished it and I'm like, I'm going to listen to it again. And I got new takeaways. I'm going to listen to it again. I like legit listened to it like 4 or 5 times in a row. And by just that one Super Saturday and drawing the line in the sand, January 2015, I said, I'm going to help 5 people every month. And since making that decision, but more importantly, like everybody's talked here, taking action on that, I've helped 5 people every single month. Some months are easy. Some months are a bitch. I'm not going to lie. But that's my goal, and it's a non-negotiable goal. It's not like oh, hey, it's the last day of the month. I've only helped 4 people. Maybe next month. I'm like, no, this is going to happen. And that just means I invite more people. I reach out to more people. I'm vulnerable with more people. I follow up, whatever it takes. But so that's why we stress the importance of Super Saturday. Like, you never know. It's just going to be that one thing that may seem so insignificant to somebody else. That's that light bulb moment that you need to propel yourself forward, because this business is easy, or it's simple, but it's not always easy. It's so easy not to do the things, right? But we can't expect change in our lives. And we all have a passion to help other people. We all want to help other people. And that's amazing. But I'm going to tell you guys right now, this is something that I took away from from Summit. Many of us, myself, I'm number one, have a fear of money. I grew up my mom was on welfare when I was little. My mom is a single mom. My mom got married twice. I've had 3 dads. She only got married twice, though. They didn't work. She supported them. So there was always a lack of money mentality, always. So me growing up, there was always a lack of money mentality. And that if I had money, I was somehow bad, or I was somehow not as humble or as gracious or as kind or as good as somebody that had to struggle their whole entire lives. I'm going to tell you, your ability to help people and to make more money is going to allow you to do all of those things, to support people, to help people, to contribute to people in a way that you never imagined. So we need to change, for those of you that are like me, that struggle with their relationship with money, to realize that money is not evil, and to realize that money gives us the ability to then support and help and nurture more people than we ever imagined.
She just bye. All right, and I'm out. No, guys. To piggyback on all that, and then we'll kind of let you guys go, because this is going along. It's everything they're talking about is all there is to it. With like the biggest deal about going to Summit or going to Super Saturday, whatever, is in part that you're going to be around other people. And what you're going to find, especially for those new coaches, that listen to people that have been doing it for a while, that make it seem like maybe it's easier than it is, or like it's like as though it comes natural or whatever, and they never had to start, right? You're going to realize that you're going to be around other people, and you're going to find that everybody was in the same exact spot that you are right now. If it's your first day, somebody else out there is in their first day, and everybody else had their first day. We all start from the same place. And once you realize that, you get around a bunch of like-minded people that are all going through those same fears, and then they get through those same fears, and they're sharing all the tips on how they got through those fears and how they push forward and when they drew the line in the sand and why. And they're telling you all this stuff, and you realize that, okay, this is true, I can do it as well. It makes you understand the opportunity, and more importantly, it makes you understand your potential to create that opportunity. But the end of the day comes, and all the stuff that we talked about tonight is great, and it's all some really substantial takeaways. And Summit is incredible, as well as Super Saturday, for giving you those insights and helping you kind of have that moment that turns the light bulb on. But none of that is worth a damn thing if we don't go in and actually do the necessary, like Roxanne was talking about, the necessary behaviors to actually create what we're trying to create. So all of this stuff is great. We can gather all this information, but at the end of the day, we still need to do the simple things that drive business forward, that help us change more lives, that help us in part change our own life, right? And simple as we need to share that online. We need to be a product of the product. We need to focus on ours. All this basic same stuff we talked about tonight, right? We need to invite people. We need to grow our network, and we need to start new conversations and follow up with people. It's all the basic stuff, but we have to dive in on those things. Otherwise, none of this call, none of the stuff that you learn at Summit, none of the stuff you learn at Super Saturday, none of it is worth anything if we don't focus there. We take all the things that we learned and we utilize them for us to help us push through and do more or do better at those vital behaviors, or be more honest with ourselves through those vital behaviors. So we need to make sure that we do that. Dionna, do you want to give them their last little challenge?
Yes. So I actually have 2. So who of you have done the personality shapes challenge? Raise your hand. Okay. So we've got, Jennifer, no. Jessica, no. And then I can't see the other people. Okay. So, you have. Okay. So what I want you guys to do, I want you guys, after this call, I want you to go onto the team page. Alicia posted it yesterday. If you can find it, awesome. If you can't, just do this. I want you guys, there are 4 shapes that you get to choose from. Don't overthink this. Just the first shape that comes to your mind, I want you to post that in the team page if you haven't already. You've got a square. You've got a triangle.
can I say, I looked at that thing and I immediately am like, I can't, I don't know. I can't pick, like, does that make sense? Like, not one of them stood out more than the other. Then I showed it to my dad. I'm like, hey, look at this really quick. Which one stood out to you? And he's like, I don't know. I was like, is that what all of you guys are doing? Like, you look and you immediately know which one?
No, nope.
Okay.
No,
Just wanted to
I'm
make
just like, I don't have a favorite, but just try to relax your mind and just freaking pick one.
Okay.
Just pick one and then post it, right? And the point is to try not to overthink it because it's so stinking simple, right? It's so stinking simple that you're like, it's too easy. Go ahead, Michael.
I got to unmute you. She had us draw it. So don't, I mean, try and imagine. So you think of them and then draw one. Pick one to draw in the air, right?
Just draw it. Just draw it.
And that's how you pick. It's, you don't have to pick a shape. You just, I got to draw something. Okay, draw. I got 4 choices. I'm going to draw something, right?
Yes. So you guys all that haven't done that, be sure to do that. Post it in the group. We talked to Emily, Misty, and Sabrina this morning. So I made sure that I'm like, before we even got into coaching, I'm like, okay, let's get your shape because it allows us. So once you do that, then we'll tell you what that means. So off topic, I want you guys to do that because I think it's fun exercise. It's not to be taken too seriously, but it is a little insightful. But what I want you guys to do today, you guys probably took a crap ton of notes. It's probably overwhelming. You guys are probably super inspired, but you can't do everything, right? You can't do every action that you learn in this call. So what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to pick 3 things that you took away from today's call, and I want you to implement them. I want you to take action on them. So, if it's, you're going to, I just forgot what we talked about this whole entire hour. That's a squiggle in me. See, Clorie, damn you. And Cassandra. But really kind of picking 3 things that you're going to focus on because, of course, we want to do everything, but reality is we can't. And if we do try to do everything, we're not going to be good at anything. So if we can pick 3 takeaways that are going to be our focus for the next week or 2, and then be able to implement that, take action, like I really think Alicia's thing about your life phases, like that's kind of a light bulb. Like I automatically think about Jen and Michael and how they're empty nesters. And because I relate to that because I'm going to be a soon to be empty nester, which I'm just like, that's kind of freaking me out, but Alicia's got the twin mom thing and Misty's got the PTA thing. Cassandra's got the dude and sports thing. And, and so we all have that story that's going to relate to somebody. So you just get to share that. Right. So find those 3 takeaways. And then Justin, did you have that really quick thing that you're going to share or did you forget?
I totally forgot.
The vitals?
Oh no, we just talked about that. So.
Oh, I totally spaced it.
So you guys pick 3 things that you guys are going to do and then share them in the team page below this when we post it. I'll try to get this uploaded here pretty soon. So share that, let us know. But like you said, focus on those 3 things, pick them, and then implement. We have to implement. Otherwise, you guys, we will allow you guys to have the rest of the evening to yourself. So everybody, thank you guys so much for sharing your time with us tonight. I know we're all busy. I appreciate you all, and we will see you guys very soon. Bye, everybody. Thank you.